Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings and Yahoo for Saturday, July the 17th. We got Game 5 of the NBA Finals on Saturday night. The series is now tied at 2-2, so going to be a pretty interesting game here. Obviously, this is a very pivotal game. You want to go up 3-2 if possible. Phoenix going back home with the series tied at 2-2. This should be a really fun game. I'm excited yet again for this showdown slate and to talk through everything with you guys. I've really enjoyed this series. This has been a really good finals so far. I think this series is probably going to go 7 games. It seems like that's going to be the case. So far, no team has won on the road yet. Well, that can maybe change on Saturday night, but yeah, we'll talk through this showdown slate, guys. Break it all down like we've been doing. Pretty much just talk through the entire player pool. Really, anyone that's playable, anyone that I expect to see minutes. We will hit on. And we'll talk about Draftkings mainly. May hit on some Yahoo stuff, but mainly just going to talk DK. And then we also will talk about PrizePicks. For those of you that don't know, or maybe if you're new here, we are now partnered with PrizePicks. I've been playing on PrizePicks for a while now, almost a month now. I've been able to have a lot of success. I know a lot of you guys have signed up for PrizePicks and have been able to have success as well. It's a new way to play DFS. You're not playing against other players. You're not building a lineup. You're pretty much taking a pick versus their projection. So you take the over or the under on their projection for each player. So they have pretty much every player they expect to see minutes. I don't think they have like Torrey Craig here or like I don't think Brim Forbes or like Jeff Teague here. But they have pretty much every guy that's going to get reasonable minutes. They have a fantasy projection for them. And you can pretty much take whether you think they go over or under their projection. They have, like I said, they have every player. They have single stat as well, which is like player props. So every player has a point projection, an assist projection, a rebound projection. They also have 3-pointers made, free throws made. They got a ton of stuff for NBA. They have a ton of other sports as well. Like if you're into golf, there's a major going on this week, so you could take a look at their golf stuff if you want to get into that. They have soccer. They have esports. They have MMA, WNBA. They're gonna have NFL when NFL gets here. So yeah, PrizePicks they're offering a ton right now. It's a fun way to play DFS. Like I said, I've enjoyed playing on PrizePicks. It's kind of been how I've been getting most of my action in for these slates. I don't really play too heavy on the showdown. Normally, I just play a very small amount of volume. Most of my action is going in on PrizePicks. So yeah, if you guys want to check out PrizePicks, you want to see what they have to offer, you can use promo code NOAH when you do sign up. That will give you a 100% match on your first deposit up to $100. So if you deposit $100 when you sign up, PrizePicks will match that. They'll give you an additional $100 to play with. Also, you will get an entry into their $1 million promo, which they are running until the end of the NBA Finals. So you pretty much have like 3 more times. Like you have pretty much till Game 7, if there is a Game 7, to sign up for this $1 million promo. If you do look on the screen right now, PrizePicks running $1 million promo. It's a new way to get users to come to the site, but they are legit giving away $1 million now. It's kind of tough to win. They give you 5 questions to answer. Pretty sure the 5 questions are how many points do you think each player scores. It's usually the top 5 players. So Giannis, CP3, Middleton, Booker, Drew. It's probably going to be those 5 guys. You have to predict how many points you think each player scores in that game. And then if you go 5 for 5, if you do get every pick right, you do win $1 million. Obviously, that is very tough to do. But even if you go 1 for 5 or 2 for 5, you still do get some money. I think it's $50. If you go 1 for 5, I think it's $100. If you go 2 for 5, I think if you go 3 for 5, it's $1,000. And if you go 4 for 5, I think it's $10,000. So you can check that out, guys. Link down below in the description. I know PrizePicks does have like on their website they have the full details and everything if you want to check that out for yourself. But sign up for PrizePicks, guys, if you have not yet. Use promo code NOAH when you do sign up. As always, big shout out to PrizePicks. Been working with them for a while now and been able to have a lot of success on the site. They've helped out my channel a ton. I do greatly appreciate all the guys over at PrizePicks. But yeah, we'll talk about some picks I do like over there for today. But let's start off on the showdown slate and kind of work through the player pool, start off from top to bottom. So at the top, you got Giannis at 12,600. I've been saying it pretty much every slate so far. Giannis is the clear top play on the slate. He's probably going to be, one of the first guys you click into your lineup. I'm pretty sure he's been in the winning lineup every slate so far. I wouldn't think anything would change here. As long as Giannis can get you 55, 60 DK points, which he's pretty likely to do, there's a very good possibility that he's going to be in the winning lineup. Giannis, his floor is just so much higher. His ceiling is so much higher than really anyone else, on this slate. Even if Giannis has a floor game and puts up like 50 DK points, like there's a good possibility that he could still be the highest scoring player on the slate and could still be in the winning lineup. So at this point, I don't need to tell you to play Giannis. I think you know that already. He's a clear top option. Then you have Chris Middleton, who is coming off a really big game last game. Played 43 minutes. He shot the ball pretty well. He took 33 shots, was really aggressive last game, which was good to see if you played Middleton. He was also able to contribute with 6 points or 6 rebounds and 4 assists to go along with 40 points. Big game from Middleton last game. With him having a big game last game, I think that is going to boost his ownership a little bit. But it's kind of for good reason. I mean, Middleton has been playing massive minutes. He's been getting a ton of usage. He's been taking a ton of shots. Now, I know the floor, is still pretty low on Middleton. Whenever he is playing alongside Giannis and Drew, it's not a guarantee that you get 50 DK points a night from Middleton, but the opportunity is definitely going to be there. The Bucks are running a super tight rotation right now. They only played 8 guys last game. They're probably only going to play those same 8 guys today. We're going to get 40-plus minutes from Middleton. Does he go for 58 DraftKings points again? Probably not, but I think with the opportunity he's going to get, he is still a top option for me. I definitely have a lot of interest in Middleton. Then you have Devin Booker, who also bounced back as well last game, had 46 DK points after only putting up 20 DK points the game before that in Game 3. I kind of talked about it in my video last slate. With Booker having a pretty bad game in Game 3, that was automatically going to make his ownership low, and I'm pretty sure that was the case if I do remember correctly. Booker was fairly low owned last slate, and obviously really good game from him. Now, he didn't do much with the peripherals, which obviously you don't really want to see. Only had 1 rebound, only had 2 assists, but he did score 42 points. He was really aggressive. He took 28 shots. He finally had a really good shooting game, shot over 60% from the field. Between Middleton or Booker, they're pretty closely priced. I think I do give the edge to Chris Middleton, just because Middleton can do more with the peripherals. I think they both project pretty similarly. I think they both play similar minutes, but with Middleton able to contribute more with the rebounds, with the assists, I would give the edge to him over Devin Booker. I think Devin Booker is viable, but obviously you can't play all these guys. If you're only playing one lineup, you can't pay up for everyone. So for me, I would take Middleton over Booker today. And Middleton kind of do like his over on PrizePicks. His projection right now is 42.5 fantasy points. Obviously, he went way over that last game. He's gone over this projection in 2 of his last 5 games. Most nights you're going to get 35, 40 fantasy points at the minimum from Middleton. Like his floor, it feels like it's around 35. Like a floor game from Middleton's about 35. Obviously, he can, put up more than that, though. Like we saw him have a good shooting game last game, was super aggressive. If he comes out and is aggressive again, if he plays 40-plus minutes, he's probably going to go over this 42.5 fantasy point projection. So I do like the over on Chris Middleton. I did take the over on him last slate, and obviously that worked out. I like going right back to it. I think Middleton, if he continues to get these massive minutes, if he can stay aggressive, that's really the only thing. We know the minutes are going to be there, but the aggressive, we want to see Middleton out there taking 30, 35 shots like he did last game. If he does that again, he's probably going to go over 42.5 fantasy points because we know he's going to get you, 6, 7, 8 rebounds. He's probably going to get a handful of assists as well. He can get a few defensive stats. Plenty of upside for Middleton. I like his over on PrizePicks. But then you have the guards. You have Drew Holiday. You have Chris Paul. Drew Holiday at 9,600. I think he's in play, but I would probably rather get to Middleton. I think I'd rather get to Devin Booker as well. Drew didn't have that great of a shooting game last game. I think that's one thing you definitely want to look at. He did shoot the ball terribly last game. 4 for 20 from the field, 0 for 5 from 3. Still managed to score 37 DK points even after that poor shooting performance. If Drew has a mediocre shooting game last game, he probably goes for 45, close to 50 DK points. If he has a really good shooting game, he probably goes for 55, 60. So Drew does have upside. If he can knock down shots, it's kind of the same with Middleton. Middleton was really aggressive, took a ton of shots. He shot the ball well. Drew took a good amount of shots as well. Just, obviously he couldn't make anything. If Drew can come out and make some shots, he definitely has upside too. I prefer Middleton, I think. I prefer Booker as well. But Drew Holiday is obviously in play if you want to go to him at 9,600. But I don't think he'd be a top option for me. Then you have Chris Paul, who's been really disappointing lately. Chris Paul is just someone I can't seem to get right. It seems like when I play Chris Paul, that's when he sucks, and then when I don't play him, that's when he goes for 53 like he did in Game 1. In the Clippers game in Game 6 of that series when he went for 67, I'm pretty sure I didn't play him that day. It seems like whenever I play Booker, Paul goes off, and then whenever I play Paul, Booker goes off. Last slate, I preferred Paul over Booker, and obviously Booker had the better game. Today, I think I prefer Booker over Paul, so that means Paul's probably going to have the better game. But, yeah, Paul's been having some trouble. I think Drew Holiday has been playing really good defense on Chris Paul. Drew's an elite defender already. He's been giving Chris Paul some troubles, it seems like. Paul just hasn't been that productive lately. I know, game log, I don't want to look too heavy into that because obviously Chris Paul can bounce back at any moment. No one would be surprised if Chris Paul went out there and put up 50-plus DK points tonight, but I don't have a ton of confidence in him right now. He is kind of struggling. I think Jrue Holiday's, really good defense has been giving Chris Paul a little bit of trouble. Paul's viable, obviously, but I don't feel great about him right now. I think I would rather just save salary and play a guy like Deandre Ayton. Deandre Ayton I talked about last slate. I really liked him. I think he's a guy that I'm definitely looking to once again. He was too cheap last slate at $8,400, and today his price is even cheaper. He's only $8K. Ayton definitely one of the top plays for me, right up there with Giannis. He's probably one of the first guys I'd be looking to put into my lineup. I just think his price tag is definitely too low. He should be priced right around like Jrue Holiday. He should probably be a little bit more expensive than Chris Paul. Ayton's too cheap. He's going to get 40-plus minutes most likely if this game stays close. He did get into foul trouble in Game 3, I do believe. But, that's something we can't really look at. He only played 24 minutes that game. He did get in. I think he did pick up 2 fouls somewhat quick last game, but it didn't seem to really, cut his minutes. He still played 39 minutes. He's going to get 40 minutes. We know Ayton's going to probably get you a double-double. Obviously, he didn't score much last game, but he still put up 17 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks. The guy has a lot of upside. He's been super consistent in the playoffs. He's been playing massive minutes. At 8K, I think Deandre Ayton's a really good mid-range option. I do like him a lot on PrizePicks too. His projection right now is currently at 41. If we're going to continue to get 40-plus minutes from Ayton, he probably is going to go over this projection most nights. He's gone over this projection in 3 of his last 5 games, and then obviously last game, he fell 0.1 shot. He scored 40.9, so obviously he didn't go over it last game, but he's probably going to go over this projection if he does continue to get 40-plus minutes, which he's been getting consistently in the playoffs. I like the over on 41 fantasy points for Deandre Ayton. Really hard not to like that with just how many minutes he's getting, with how consistent he's been. He's a guy that I definitely have a lot of interest in the mid-range. Now, Jay Crowder at 7,400. I was kind of off of Jay Crowder last slate, especially with his price tag coming up, and he had another great game. 41 DK points. Now, I do want to say that he definitely got a little bit lucky. 3 blocks, 3 steals last game. I mean, that is not something we can expect to happen again. He did shoot the ball pretty poorly, though. He shot 3 for 10 from the field, 3 for 9 from 3. Did contribute with 8 rebounds, 3 assists. But, the defensive stats, we can't expect him to get 6 stocks like he did last game. On PrizePicks, blocks and steals are worth 3 points. So, obviously, Crowder went way over his projection last slate, getting those 3 blocks and 3 steals. That alone on PrizePicks is worth 18 points. You look at his projection on PrizePicks for today, it's at 27.5. I mean, I think that might actually be a little bit too high. I know Jay Crowder's been crushing lately. I know he's gone over this projection in 3 straight games, but most nights Crowder's not going to score 30-plus fantasy points. I think he does benefit with Dario Saric out. They have been playing Jay Crowder as like the backup center. He's been getting pretty big minutes as well. Like he played 39 minutes last game. He definitely gets a boost with Dario Saric out, but I don't think it's enough to where he should be projected as high as he is. So I kind of like the under on 27.5 fantasy points for Jay Crowder. We know what this guy's going to do. I mean, he's going to shoot a couple threes. He's going to probably grab like 8 to 10 rebounds. As long as he doesn't get, 3 blocks, 3 steals again, he's probably going to most nights go under this projection. I think with him having big games, with 3 straight good games, that's definitely boosted his projection probably a little bit more than it should be. I think he should be projected around like 24, 25. I think 27 might be a little bit too high for Crowder. So I'll actually like the under on that one. I've been taking his over lately, but now that this projection has gotten as high as it is, I think it's a good chance he goes under this, as long as he doesn't have a fluky performance like he did last game with those 3 blocks and 3 steals. You take those off, and then he scores that would be 18 less points. You take those away, and he only finishes with 26. So, yeah, I think I'm fine taking the under on Jay Crowder fantasy points. Not saying that he's going to go out there and just put up, a terrible, terrible game, but I think he doesn't go over 27. I would say that. So I don't really like Jay Crowder that much. I think he's too expensive right now. If he goes out there and has another big game, then so be it, whatever. But at this price tag, he's a little bit too pricey for me. Now, Mikal Bridges is kind of the same thing. Like, neither one of Bridges or Crowder I really like to roster just because neither one have a ton of upside. And obviously Crowder's been doing well lately, but most nights you're not getting 35, 40 fantasy points from Jay Crowder. Most nights you're going to get probably low 20s from him. It's probably going to be the same for Bridges. Like, neither one of these guys have much upside. They don't do much outside of shoot threes and grab rebounds. Sure, they can luck their way into 4 blocks and 3 steals like Crowder did last game, but Bridges and Crowder, both kind of guys I'm not that high on, don't really have that much interest in. Brook Lopez, his price is coming down, but the minutes are also coming down, so it's kind of hard to really trust Brook Lopez right now. Last 2 games, he's only played 21 and 19 minutes. It just seems like right now they don't really want to give him big minutes. They want to play Giannis at center. They want to give minutes to Bobby Portis. I just don't really have that much interest in Brook Lopez. If he's only going to play around 20 minutes, that just doesn't make him that appealing of an option. He's another guy that I'm kind of avoiding in that mid-range. But then you have Bobby Portis at 5,600, who I would like if he was a little bit cheaper, but at 5,600, another guy that I just don't know if I really want to pay this price tag for him. If he was like, I don't know, 4K, I think I'd have a lot more interest. I think we do get around 15 to 20 minutes from Bobby Portis, and obviously Portis is a productive player. He can average, around a fantasy point per minute when he's on the floor, but 5,600 is a little bit too expensive for Bobby Portis. Like, I would rather just play Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis probably play around the same amount of minutes. Most nights, I think Lopez probably plays a few more than Portis. Just give me Lopez, at that point. I don't really think I want to go to Portis at this price tag, but I do want to hit on Bobby Portis on PrizePicks. His projection last slate was 12.5. He went over that barely, got 15 fantasy points. Obviously, he wasn't that productive in the minutes he played, but normally Bobby Portis is a guy that does average around a fantasy point per minute. He did only shoot 1 for 6 from the field, only had 3 points, 5 rebounds, a steal, and a block in the 20 minutes he played, but it's been good to see him getting bigger minutes lately. The last 2 games he's played 18 and 20 minutes after only playing 5 minutes in game 2. Like I said, it seems right now they want to give Bobby Portis minutes. He's kind of been a key guy off the bench for them so far these last few games. If he plays anywhere close to 20 minutes, he's probably going to go over 12.5 fantasy points. I like the over once again on Bobby Portis fantasy point projection, 12.5. That's a pick that I like last slate. I like it once again. That projection's probably 3 to 4 points too low. His projection should probably be around 15 or 16. 12.5 is just too low in my opinion. So those are 4 picks I kind of like early on for PrizePicks. Just for right now, if there's anything else that I see, we might can touch on that in the live stream on Saturday if I do decide to stream on Saturday. But for now, these are kind of my 4 early picks that I like on PrizePicks for Saturday's game. But let's go ahead and wrap up the rest of the player pool, talk about the rest of these bench guys. So Pat Connaughton, you got it at 4,800. Pat Connaughton, been a guy that I've played a pretty good amount of so far, in this series. He's been someone I've looked to roster as a value option on these showdown slates, and I don't think anything's going to change today. He's 4,800. The price tag's slowly starting to creep up, but we've been getting the minutes from Connaughton. He's played at least 30 minutes in 3 of their last 4 games, or 4 of their last 5 games, and so far in this series, he's played 30 minutes in every game except one. He played 28 minutes in game 1, but yeah, we're going to get 28, 30 minutes from Pat Connaughton. Like I said, seems like they want to play Giannis at center. I think, playing Giannis at center, that's going to take minutes away from Brook Lopez. That's going to allow Pat Connaughton to get on the floor. That's going to allow some of these other guys to get a few more minutes like Bobby Portis. So, yeah, if we're getting 30 minutes from Pat Connaughton at 4,800, he's not that productive of a player when he's on the floor, but 30 minutes at this price tag, definitely have interest in him as a value option. Cam Payne, probably not going to go there. He's going to play probably 15, 16 minutes, could play a few more, could play a little bit less. I just don't think I want to go there. I'd rather play Pat Connaughton. I'd rather go cheaper, play a guy like Cam Johnson. I did like Cam Johnson a good amount for value last slate, and he's another guy that I like again for value. He's only 4K, pretty cheap. He played 29 minutes last game. Again, he's been a consistent part of this Phoenix rotation so far in the postseason. He's gotten good minutes these last 2 games. Even with Ayton, like last game, Ayton got in foul trouble, game 3, Ayton got in foul trouble. I think that is something that benefited Cam Johnson. He did play 30 minutes then, but even last game with Ayton playing his normal minutes, we still got 29 minutes from Cam Johnson. I think he kind of played a little bit more than I expected him to. I know Mikal Bridges didn't play a ton of minutes. Like Bridges only played 26. Normally, I think we get more than that from Bridges, but if they're going to keep giving 25, 30 minutes to Cam Johnson, at 4K, definitely someone you can look to as a value option. I would say he's right up there with Pat Connaughton in terms of favorite values for me, talking about guys like below 5K. Do have a lot of interest in Cam Johnson. If you want to take his projection on PrizePicks, right now it's at 17. If Cam Johnson plays 30 minutes tonight, he probably is going to score more than 17 fantasy points, so I don't even mind the over on that one as well if you wanted to take that too. But the rest of these guys, PJ Tucker, Torrey Craig, Jeff Teague, that's probably the only guys we're going to talk about. PJ Tucker we'll hit on real quick. Look, you guys know what PJ Tucker is going to do. He's going to play 30 minutes. He's out there for his defense. He's not going to do much except, grab some rebounds. He'll maybe get a block or a steal. He'll maybe knock down a few threes. You never know what you're getting from PJ Tucker, but he's cheap. He's going to play 30 minutes. If you want to play PJ Tucker, I think he's in play, obviously, but I would rather get to guys like Cam Johnson, rather get to guys like Pat Connaughton if I can. Torrey Craig last game only scored 7 DK points, but he was actually in the winning lineup. And we've talked about this, a lot in my videos, in the live streams. Like, even when some of these cheap guys, don't do great and they only score like 8 DraftKings points, that could be good enough for them to be in the winning lineup, because you're seeing the studs just go off every night. Giannis, Middleton, Ayton, Booker, like all these guys are putting up 40 plus most nights. You're going to have those top guys to really, take down a tournament. And in order to get those top guys in, you're going to have to go down here to these cheaper options. So, if Torrey Craig plays 15 minutes again and scores 8, 10 DraftKings points, like there's a good possibility that he could be in the winning lineup. I think he's definitely in play as a punt option. Now, obviously, I don't expect him to go out there and just break the slate and put up 25, 30 DK points, but he doesn't need to do that at his price tag. If he gets you 8 to 10 DraftKings points, there's a good possibility he could be in the winning lineup. So I do like Torrey Craig as a punt option. Don't even mind Jeff Teague either. Teague played 11 minutes. I think between Teague or Craig, I would probably rather play Craig just because I think Craig plays a few more minutes than Teague does. But Teague's a fine punt option too if you want to go there. But the rest of these guys I have no interest in. Bryn Forbes did not play last game. He was a DMP. Kaminsky got a DMP. Nader got a DMP. It seems like both these teams are going to be running 8-man rotations with, on the Phoenix side, it seems like Cam Johnson, Cam Payne, and Torrey Craig are really going to be the only guys that get minutes off the bench. And then on the Milwaukee side, it seems like Bobby Portis, Pat Connaughton, and Jeff Teague are going to be the only guys that get minutes. I was kind of surprised that Bryn Forbes got a DMP last game, but yeah, if he's not going to, if he's not going to play, then obviously we can't go there. Could he get in the rotation today? I guess it's possible, but I think we do see an 8-man rotation for both teams, so that means guys like Bryn Forbes, Frank Kaminsky, Nader, no interest in them. So yeah, that does it for the player pool. We talked about really every playable option for the slate, guys. I appreciate you watching the video. As always, I hope you did enjoy. If you did, click that like button before you do get out of here. Be sure to click that subscribe button as well. And also hit the notification bell so that way you do get notified every time I upload, and you also do get notified every time I live stream. Now, I don't know yet if I'll be streaming Saturday or not. Sometimes I don't really go live, or normally I don't go live on the weekends. I did go live last weekend on Sunday when the game was on Sunday. I don't know yet if I'll be live Saturday or not, but if I do go live, probably be around 5:30, 6 o'clock Eastern like I normally have been going live. So check my YouTube channel then. Saturday night might be live for this slate, breaking everything down with you guys and answering all your questions as always. But yeah, good luck on this slate, guys. Lastly, be sure to check out PrizePicks. Link down below in the description. Use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up and get that deposit bonus. Get that $1 million promo entry. And if you want to tail me on these picks that we talked about, you can do that, or you can make some picks for your own. PrizePicks, very self-explanatory. When you sign up, they'll kind of tell you how it works, how everything pays out, basically what you need to do. So yeah, check out PrizePicks, guys. Use that promo code NOAH, get that deposit bonus, and get that $1 million promo entry. But good luck tonight. Thanks for watching, guys. We will see you in the next video.